Welcome, everybody, to the College Basketball Preview Show on the Girly True Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to preview and give you our best prediction on the Duke Blue Devils, who will travel to Louisville, Kentucky to battle the Louisville Cardinals in a big early season ACC matchup. Right now, Duke is favored by 9.5. If you want to bet this game, make sure you go to BetMGM, our top sports book for betting on college basketball. You can click on the link in the description down below. All right, guys. We're going to look at Duke and Louisville. And when you look at Duke, most teams haven't played a true road game yet. But Duke is one of the few high major teams that weren't scared to play away from home. All right. The Blue Devils defeated Arizona 69-55 in Tucson. And Duke will look to remain unscathed in true road battles in this one. Now, the most impressive thing about Duke is his ability to win games in different ways. Against Arizona, Duke had to win a defensive struggle. Against Auburn, Duke struggled to slow the Tigers' dominant offense, so it responded by tallying 1.33 PPP during the game. Now, Cooper Flagg, Con Newpel, and Kame Maluak. Shit, I can't say that name. But the most well-known freshman trio in college hoops for a good reason. All three are bona fide NBA first-rounders and potential lottery picks. And their defensive prowess has helped Duke become one of Ken Palm's top-rated defenses. This team's only going to get better as these guys get more acclimated to the college game. Now, the one freshman people who didn't expect to shine in the Auburn win was Isaiah Evans, who barely played in the first 7 games, collecting several did-not plays. He came out to drop 6 first-half threes, becoming yet another weapon in John Shire's arsenal. Now, offensively, Duke attacks far differently than the teams in Shire's first 2 seasons. This Blue Devils team doesn't shoot a ton of threes. Early in Shire's tenure, the script was flipped with the youth movement in Durham. 48% of field goal attempts were coming from distance. Now, it's not a bad thing either. Duke shoots 36% from 3, so the rise in volume has worked to Duke's advantage. A word to the wise, good luck scoring versus Duke's interior, as it holds foes to 41.5% shooting on 2s. The Louisville Cardinals' best hope in this game is to hit 3s. Or this one could get ugly early. Now, with Louisville, the dreaded injury bug has hindered the Cardinals in Pat Kelsey's first year at the helm. Now, since Coach Kelsey decided to add a pair of injured players and Ali Khalif and Kobe Rogers, all it took was 1 or 2 injuries to derail Louisville's season. And it's now 3 additional injuries that have left the Cardinals roster with 8 healthy players. Losing Corinne Johnson and Kasheen Pryor for the year are brutal blows, especially if you watch this team play against Indiana in the battle for Atlantis. The games in the battle for Atlantis, Louisville looked like they were a team that could make a huge impact this year. Now, Johnson added some depth to Louisville's backcourt while Pryor led the team in scoring before his injury. The first game of many with just 8 players was a struggle, as Louisville was blown out by Ole Miss at home 86-63. The loss was more a byproduct of Louisville shooting a disaster at 5 for 30 from the three-point range. But having no depth doesn't help either. I mean, there's really limits on what this team can do now with the 3 or 4 guys out that they need. Now, with the shooting struggles, Louisville needs to hang in its hat on being a defensive team. The Cardinals ranked 30th in defensive efficiency with Ken Palm. Now, perhaps the strong defense can make up for the potential offensive hardships. Though I don't know if I trust Louisville's defense. In the Cardinals' 3 losses, they surrendered more than 1.08 PPP to Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. 2 of those games were bad home losses. Now, that needs to improve if Louisville has a chance to defeat some of the better ACC teams such as Duke. Kelsey having a stable of superb guards is nothing new, but he will need a trio of Chucky Hepburn, Terrence Edwards Jr., and Rain Smith to ball out all the time, and he'll need all 3 of them to do it in the 3-guard lineup. Now, Hepburn and Smith have lived up to expectations and then some, especially Hepburn, whereas Edwards, who won last year's Sun Belt Player of the Year at James Madison, averages just 10 points a game on 40% shooting and 20% shooting from three-point range. Now, when we look at this game, I can't find a reason to back Louisville here. I mean, beyond the road conference game standpoint, Duke should blow Louisville out here. It's not like the Cardinals have dominated the home court either. They lost to Tennessee. They lost to Ole Miss, and those teams basically took temporary residence at Yum Center. They dominated the Cardinals. The Tennessee game was before the injuries really hit. The Ole Miss game was after the injuries hit. I have Duke winning this game comfortably. If I would have looked at the Louisville team that we saw when they beat Indiana, I would take 9.5 points in a heartbeat in this game. But that team no longer exists, unfortunately, for the Cardinals. So I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to give the 9.5. I'm going to go to BetMGM. I'm going to bet the game there. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. But guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap it up. I think Duke wins this game by double digits. Easy double digits, probably 15, 20 points at least. But make sure you follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Make sure you go to YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.